Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Cámara Peruana de Comercio Exterior, and these are our daily lectures. As you know, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9, we have our English lectures. Sorry for the delay or some technical difficulties. I hope everyone is fine. Happy Wise Men's Day. Um, I hope you guys get together with your family and eat your sweet bread that normally is eaten these days. God bless, and I hope you enjoy. We're going to go through this very quickly because, like I said, because due to the delay, we need to finish the whole presentation. The topic of today's lecture is going to be the second part of what we started the last time at the airport. As you know, my name is Carlos Martinez. I'm an English instructor and speaking coach. I'm a former team leader from Pacific University, and currently I'm an EFL teacher at Mater Purísima School in Miraflores. Welcome to the Cámara Peruana de Comercio Exterior. And again, please, if you need to go out, take all the necessary precautions, wear your masks, um, wash your hands as many times as possible, wear um, those alcohol on your hands to disinfect them, and just take distance from other people, and just be careful when you come back home. Spray your alcohol, clean your shoes, change your clothes, take a shower, and all the necessary precautions we have been taking during the last year almost. Okay. Um, Good morning. So let's begin. This is, like I said, it's going to be a continuation of what we started the last class. So here, for example, we have a conversation. We have a conversation of somebody who is at the check-in desk. And this is how normally these conversations go. Dan is flying from New York to LA. When he arrives at the airport, he goes to the check-in desk and, well, you're going to listen to the conversation he has with the agent. Okay. Good afternoon. Where are you flying today? Los Angeles. May I have your passport, please? Here you go. Are you checking any bags? Just this one. Okay, please place your bag on the scale. I have a stopover in Chicago. Do I need to pick up my luggage there? No, it'll go straight through to Los Angeles. Here are your boarding passes. Your flight leaves from gate 15A and it will begin boarding at 3:20. Your seat number is 26E. Thanks. Okay, as you can see, this conversation normally is the greeting. Good afternoon. How are you? When the person says, here you go, it's like, here you go. You give something to somebody. Normally, you always have to place your bags on the scale so they can weigh them. Remember that the average is like 25 kilos. I have a stopover in Chicago. That means that before he's going from New York to LA, but his flight is not a non-stop flight. He's going to stop in Chicago first. And do I need to pick up my luggage? This happens sometimes where, and this has happened to me more than once when I've traveled to New York and I have stopped in Miami. I've had to take out my bags and personally take them to the connecting flight. But sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes the 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 luggage goes directly to your destination. Okay, so you need to ask that. Okay, in this case, they tell him that no, it will go straight to Los Angeles, and here are the boarding passes. Normally, when they give you the boarding pass, they also give you the um, the stickers of your bags of your luggage, with the numbers and stuff like that. You can use to identify them when you arrive at your destination. Okay, so here we have some clarification. So instead of where are you flying today, the person may ask you, what is your final destination? And the answer is the same. For where are you flying today? New York. What's your final destination? New York. Okay. You can see here you go. When you give something to somebody, like I mentioned before, to check your bags means to put them in the airplane inside the cargo department, like we said, like we've been saying the last couple of classes. The small bag you take with you on the airplane is called your carry-on, and you need to put your carry-ons through the X-ray machine at security. Where you pass. You remember we talked about this on Monday. You take off your clothes and and anything that's metal and jewelry, and you also collocate your carry-ons in the X-ray machine. The scale is the equipment that tells you the weight of your luggage. For example, in this case, it's 5 kilograms, but like I said, normally it's around 25 kilograms. A stopover or layover is when the plane stops in a different city before continuing to the final destination. Like I said, there can be more than one. Normally it's one, but it can be two or three depending on where you're going. If the agent says that your luggage will go straight through, it means that it will go directly to your final destination. You don't need to pick it up during your stopover. Like I said, it sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you need to personally carry your bags from one flight to the other, but sometimes the company will do it itself. So you need to ask this so you can know. Because maybe if you forget to ask and you need to do this procedure, then you might lose your bags because they never made the connecting flight. Okay, so it's always good to ask if your bags are going to go directly, or do you need to take them out. And again, this only happens when you have stopovers or layovers. If it's direct flight, then you don't have to worry about it. The boarding passes are the tickets that permit you to enter the plane. And when a plane begins boarding, it means that the passengers start to enter the plane. Usually boarding time is 30 to 60 minutes before the takeoff. Okay, normally it's like an hour. So that's why you need to be like 2 or 3 hours before. And that way you can check in and do all the things that you need to do and wait at your gate and be at your gate 1 hour before. Okay, let's continue. Now, some other questions that you might ask at any airport, right? So we have, excuse me, where is the American Airlines check-in desk? And this depends on your airline. It could be LATAM, KLM, British Airways. How many bags can I check? Okay, normally, well, until recently it was 2 bags in a carry-on. Nowadays, only one in a carry-on, but it all depends on the airline and it all depends on the price of your ticket and stuff like that. Will my luggage go straight through, or do I need to pick it up in your stopover or layover city? Okay, it's very important to ask, because like I said, if you don't and for some reason you need to do it, then your bags will stay there and might lose your luggage. How much is the fee? Is if you need to pay anything. Okay, so normally $10, and prices range between $50 and $100 depending on the situation. If your bag is heavier than the weight limits, or if your bag is larger than the size limits, you may need to pay extra. An oversized baggage, that means that it's too big, or overweight baggage, that the weight that you have too many kilos, will be between $75 and $300. Like I said, I've never seen one with 300 because I think it depends on how many bags are overweight, but the range goes between these two prices. Some airlines in the United States also charge a fee for all checked bags. Okay, this depends totally on the airline. For example, I think American charges sometimes. LATAM has never charged me for extra bag or for bags, because normally they give you 2 bags and carry on. But that depends. Okay, if you want to carry extra luggage, then you will need to pay. Please mark this bag as fragile. Okay, that means that it needs to be handled with care. Maybe there are things that are sensitive or that might break. Okay, so you always need to tell them that it's fragile. Is the flight on time? Again, we've seen this before. If the agent will respond either yes, if it's on time, or they will tell you what the delay is. For example, there's a 20-minute delay, or 30 minutes or 1 hour, depending on the weather, depending on many things that could happen. Okay. But normally you should ask. That way you know where you're going to leave, and if it's delayed, then if you have stopovers, then you will need to contact your airline to see if you need to do anything else, so you won't lose your connecting flights. Very good. Now here are some extra questions that you might be asked or you might ask. On flights going to or inside the US, you might be asked some extra security questions before or during the check-in. And I've written here US, but this normally happens to any country in the world, basically. And there are some questions that you should always say yes. Well, you should say yes. If you say no, then you need to be careful, okay? Did you pack your bag yourselves? Of course, you have to say yes. If you say no, then they will go through it because they might think that somebody did something to it. Has your luggage been in your possession all the times? Again, you should say yes. If the answer is no, because you want to be honest, then they're probably going to go through your luggage. Are you aware of the regulations regarding liquids on your carry-on? Again, you should say yes, but you also should know. Okay, like I mentioned the last time, the maximum normally is 100 milliliters or less. Okay, and always in the plastic bag. And you should say no to these questions. Are you carrying any firearms or flammable materials? I mean, you should not only say no, but you shouldn't be carrying any firearms or flammable materials on board. Have you left your luggage unattended at any time? Again, you should say no, but apart from that, you shouldn't leave your bag unattended. Has anyone given you anything to carry on the flight? Again, you should say no, and you also should never accept anything at the airports because you might get in problems. Okay, so these are questions that you normally need to say yes, and these are questions that you normally need to say no. Okay, very good. Again, here it has written the USA, but this might happen to any country in the world. I mean, it's not exclusive for the US. And yeah, if not, you'll appear in Alerta de Puerto. Definitely, you don't want to be there. I think out of all the shows that you would like to be on, this is not one that will be nice. Okay, so going through security, we've been through this the last couple of classes, but again, it's always good to remind you. Okay, there are two pieces of equipment in security. You put your bags through the X-ray machine and you walk through the metal detector. Anybody who's ever gone on a plane knows this, right? But there are also some airports that use a body scanner. It's like a machine that goes around. It's on top of you, and it goes around, and it takes like or beside you, and it goes around to check if you're carrying anything on your body. Okay, you can put small items like keys or money into plastic bins. They give you like a plastic basket and you collocate things there. Okay, so we have the X-ray machine for your bags, for your luggage, for your bag, for your jackets and stuff. Then you have the metal detector where you go through. They normally pass it's like a stick that they pass around your body to see if you have anything metal. Okay, so let's look at this conversation. Please lay your bags flat on the conveyor belt. We've mentioned what a conveyor belt is, right? That belt that moves things around like in the supermarket. And use the bins for small objects. Do I need to take my laptop out of the bag? Yes, you do. Take off your hat and your shoes too. And then you go to the metal detector, right? And this is the sound, beep, 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 right? Please step back. Do you have anything in your pockets? Keys, cell phones, loose change. Loose change are the coins. I don't think so. Let me try taking off my belt. Okay, come on through. The person goes through again, and then you're all set. Have a nice flight. If they say that you're all set, that means that there's no problem. You can continue. See, you're finished and everything is okay. Now there are two verbs here. We have set off and go off. Okay, when the alarm sounds, we say the alarm went off. I mean, go off. Okay, that's when the alarm sounds. But to describe what made the alarm sound, we say set off. Okay, this is different. Go off is what when the alarm just turns on, and set off is what makes the alarm turn on. Okay, so for example, my key set off the alarm, and my key set off the metal detector. Remember, there are phrasal verbs set off and go off. One thing, go off is to activate, set off is to cause to activate. Okay, very good. Remember that I follow your questions through Zoom and also through the Facebook app, where I can see your questions, and I can see the comments that you have. Okay, and remember that sometimes or normally the conversations that um, go through the Facebook app normally have certain delay. I don't know why, but there normally is a delay there. So just if I take a little bit time to answer your questions, it's because of this reason. It's not because but I will try to answer them as quickly as possible. Okay. Very good. So let's continue. Now, these are some announcements that you might hear at the gate. You know, the gate is the place where you wait to board your plane. Airports are divided into terminals, major sections of the airport, and each terminal has many gates. The gate is the door you go through to enter the plane. Here are a few announcements that you might hear while you are at the gate, okay? There has been a gate change. This can happen sometimes when, for some reason, your plane is going to be at another location. Okay, so they will tell you which is your new gate, and you will just have to move to the new gate. United Airlines flight 880 to Miami is now boarding. That means that passengers are beginning to enter the plane. So if you know that this is your flight, then hurry up if you're not at the gate. Or maybe sometimes you're at the gate, but you want to go to the duty free or to the restaurant or to the bar to buy something to drink, and you hear the number of your flight and your destination, then you should go back immediately. Please have your boarding pass and identification ready for boarding. Okay, remember the boarding pass is given to you at the check-in, and your identification normally is your passport. Okay, when you travel in South America, there are some countries where your ID or your DNI is enough, so it depends. But normally you should present your boarding pass and your passport. We would like to invite our first and business class passengers to board. So normally this is the way it goes. They call the people who are in first class or business class to board first, because they are at the front of the plane, and I mean it'll be easier for them to take seats. We're now inviting passengers with small children and any passenger requiring special assistance to begin boarding. This is to help people with, it's like when you go to the supermarket and you have this special line for people with children, or elderly people, or people who are over 60 or 65. The same reason, just to give them preference, to avoid for them to be waiting in long lines, right? Next, we would now like to invite all passengers aboard. Now it's like everybody else. And normally they start calling by lines, you know, line, this line, next line from line A to line B, or from number 20 to number 25. That's normally how it goes. This is the final boarding call for United Airlines flight 880 to Miami. This means, like we mentioned in the last class, this is the last call. Okay, if you don't get now, you don't get on the plane now, you're going to miss your flight. Passenger John Smith, please proceed to United Airlines desk at gate 12. This is for after they make the final call. Then they also, if they know that if they have some special requirements, or they have some things, a passenger who has special needs, then normally they will call them by name. Okay, in this case it's John Smith. Okay, but again, you always need to pay attention to all the announcements that are made at the gate. Very well, let's continue. And now this is a conversation that is had on the plane. Once you're on the plane, normally you get on your plane, you put your carry-ons on the overhead compartments on top of your seats, you fasten on your seat belts, and you get to know your plane. This is what I normally do. I try to find all the buttons that are going to help me move my chair. I play around with the tray where I'm going to put my meals. You know, I look for the TV. And normally, this is what normally happens, okay? And then the flight attendant will come by, okay? So, for example, the flight attendant will say, chicken or pasta? Like, sorry. You say this not because you're sorry about something, but because you want him or her to repeat. Okay, so sorry. Would you like chicken or pasta? I'll have the chicken. Anything to drink? What kind of soda do you have? Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite, Orange, and Dr. Pepper. A Diet Coke, no ice, please. Here you go, thanks. Okay, so normally they do this on site. They ask you if you want juice, if you want milk, if you want coffee, and sometimes they offer you wine. It depends on where you're flying to. And if you're in first class, they offer you champagne and more stuff. Okay, but normally when you're in coach, they give you the two options, right? For lunch or for dinner. Normally there are two options: for dinner, for lunch, or for breakfast. And then some conversation tips. If you don't understand what the flight attendant said, you can say sorry or pardon to ask him or her to repeat it. Okay, again, like we mentioned before, if you don't understand, or she spoke too quickly, or you missed for some reason, then you can say sorry, pardon, and the person will repeat. If you want to ask for something, you can use the phrases can I have or could I have, okay, instead of saying I want, instead of saying give me, okay? So can I have a pillow? Can I have a blanket? Can I have a pair of headphones or earbuds? Could I have some extra water, some extra coffee, some extra tea? Could I have some extra napkins, okay? Again, or you can also say, can I have some water, some coffee, some tea? You can play around with could or can, okay? Basically the same meaning. Could tends to be more formal than can. But again, both of them are polite and formal. Instead of saying, give me a pillow, say, can I have a pillow? Okay. And finally, if you need to stand up, but there is a person sitting next to you in the aisle, you can say, excuse me, and start moving a little bit. The person normally is like, it's like when you go to the movies, right? You say, excuse me, you start moving, and the person normally will accommodate him or herself so you can pass, right? This is how it normally works. It's like in the movies, in the movie theaters. You just say excuse me, and you start moving a little bit, and the other person will normally move their legs or sit correctly so you can pass. Very good. Are there any questions so far? Again, like I said, I follow your comments or your questions through the Facebook app, and also through the through through Zoom. So if you have any questions, if you have anything that you would like to know or clarify, I'm here to answer your questions. Okay. So I see there are no questions so far. Good. So let's continue. Now, one topic that was missing from the last class is the weather. Okay, so for example, the question is, what's the weather like? And we're going to practice this basically vocabulary, right? For example, the question is, what's the weather like? And you're always going to say it's, it's. But here we have we have 8 symbols of what the weather is like. And we have snowing or snowy, which is the same, stormy, windy, sunny, foggy, hot and humid, raining or rainy, and cloudy. Okay, snowy and snowing, it's like when you want to go skiing, or this white powder that falls from the sky when it's very, very cold. Stormy, normally in Lima, it's not so much, but if you go to Cusco or Iquitos, you're going to hear thunder and lightning, it's stormy. Windy, in Lima, it tends to be windy in July and August. That's why you see the kites flying. But normally you can find these like in Chiclayo or up north, they tend to be windy. Sunny, Lima tends, sometimes it's sunny. Now, the last couple of days it was sunny in the afternoon, but normally Lima is cloudy. Okay. Foggy, again, Lima is foggy normally around July, August. It's like a cloud walking in your street, Hot and humid, Lima tends to be hot and humid normally the months of December, January, and February. Very humid sometimes. But if you're from Iquitos or from Piura or Sullana, normally it's all year round. It's hot and humid. Rainy and raining. In Lima, it doesn't rain too much because we are in a desert, but it drizzles. It's a slight rain during the months of July and August. And cloudy, like I mentioned, that's how Lima normally is. Okay, so let's look at the pictures and let's try to collocate the name of each of these in the correct picture. For example, number 1, which do you think is number 1? Which do you think is number 1? Okay, if you said hot and humid, then you were correct. No, sunny. Which one is sunny? Sunny, look at this. What is this? Yeah, we go. Number 2. Number 2 would be sunny, right? Because we have the sun. Okay, we have the sun. What about number 3? It's like, this is like air. Number 3 is, like I said, normally we need this to happen so we can fly the kites. It is windy. Very good. Now here we have rain and lightning. Here in Lima we don't have lightning or thunder, but in Cusco, in the mountains, in Iquitos, in the jungle, we have rain and thunder. Boom, like a bomb, and the lightning. This is stormy. Very good. What about number 5? Good. It's stormy. Very good. Very good. All the people who are participating. Number 5, it's cloudy. Let's see. Very good. Like normally in Lima Panseguro, right? It's cloudy. Now it's cloudy, but with water. This is it's raining or rainy. Very good. It's raining or rainy. It's raining or rainy. Very good. And number 7, in Lima it doesn't happen too much, but like if you go to Huaraz or to Puno, it needs to get very cold for this to happen. It literally needs to get zero degrees. Once it reaches 0 degrees or less, it's normally going to happen. It's white and it's soft. It's very beautiful at the beginning, but then it turns into ice. And it's not so beautiful. And if it rains, it becomes into slush and it's even less beautiful. But yes, if you said snowy or snowing, then you were correct. And finally, like we mentioned, normally when you go to Pasamayo or when you go through in Panamericana, and when you go south, you are like nearing Paracas or you see all these places that you can barely see anything. It's like a cloud at the level of the street. It is foggy. Okay, it is foggy. So normally if somebody asks you what's the weather like, or if the captain says what's the weather like, it's hot and humid, it's sunny, it's windy, it's stormy, it's cloudy, it's raining or it's rainy, it's snowing or it's snowy, and it's foggy. So these are typical or the most common answers to the question, what is the weather like? Okay, and like I mentioned yesterday, when the captain speaks on the plane, he's going to tell you, okay, where right now the temperature is so much and the weather is like, and we're going to arrive in the city and it's like this and like that. Okay, good. Now, continuing with the practice of weather. Now, for example, it's raining. It's number 1. What about number 2? It's what do you think? What do you boys and girls think? It's what? We have it's warm, it's cold, it's sunny, it's snowing, and it's cloudy. Which one do you think it is? It's sunny. Very good. Number 2, it's sunny. We have the sun, very little clouds on top, right? Very good. Now number 3. This looks like Lima. It's cloudy. Very good. Number 4 is when this white stuff falls. It's snowing. Very good. Very good. What about number 5? What everybody wishes to be able to do but can't because it's against the law right now, at least. It's warm. Very good. And finally, number 6, your only option is it's cold. It's very cold. Normally when it snows, like I said, for it to snow, it needs to be 0 degrees. So it tends to be very cold. Very good. Very good. So these are how you mentioned the weather, right? And now talking about the weather, we talk about temperature. Okay, so for example, here, look, we have different temperatures. We have all of these are Celsius because this is the most common. Only in the USA they use Fahrenheit, but in the rest of the world they use Celsius. Remember that 32 degrees Fahrenheit is 0 degrees Celsius, and 96, 97 degrees Fahrenheit is approximately 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, so here we have 0, here we have 5, here we have 20, Here we have 30. So we have it's warm, it's cold, it's freezing, and it's hot. Which one it's warm? So let's start by the letters. So A is freezing because it's 0, right? A is freezing because it's 0. B, it's warm, it's cold, it's hot. Number 2, it's cold. Very good, because freezing, no, because freezing is 0. 5, it's cold, but it's not freezing yet. Water is still not freezing. 20 degrees, is it warm or hot? C1. It's warm. And finally, the D, it's hot. 30 degrees is definitely hot, okay? Now, when we talk about temperature, we did like this. It's 10 degrees, okay? There's little like 0 circle. It's degrees, okay? So it's 10 degrees. So here it's, letter A will be it's 0 degrees, right? Letter B, it's how many? It's, if you look at the thermometer here, it's going 5 by 5. It's 5 degrees, right? It's 5 degrees. Very good. Next, letter C, it's 20 degrees. Very good. And finally, letter D, it's 30 degrees. Okay, so when you talk about the temperature, we say degrees. Okay, it's 10 degrees. For example, right now it should be around 15, 16 degrees, I think, approximately, as far as I can feel. I don't know, I haven't been outside yet. Okay, so it should be between 14, 15, maybe 16, or maybe less degrees. Okay, very good. And now to finish with the topic of temperatures, as you can see, we have different pictures here, and now we have what are called the seasons. Okay, so we have winter, spring, summer, autumn, or fall. Okay, so we have winter, spring, summer, autumn, or fall. Okay, so now each of these pictures represents a season. Okay, the first picture, what season is the first picture? Winter, spring, summer, or fall? The first picture, you know, when flowers start to bloom, it is the spring. And in Peru, spring begins September, right? September, October, November, spring. Then the next one, when we go to the beach, I mean, we wish we could go to the beach nowadays, although it's against the rule, against the law. But okay, so we said September, October, November was spring. Normally the seasons are divided in 3 months. And here in Peru, December, January, and February is December, January, and February is summer. Very good. It's the summertime. And now we have autumn. So we have December, January, February is summer. March, April, May is winter. Fall. March, April, and May is autumn or fall, right? Autumn or fall. And finally, in Lima, we don't have snow to make snowmen, but it gets cold and rainy, but that is what we call the winter. And that will be June, July, and August, right? The winter in here in the southern hemisphere, because in the northern hemisphere, the months are different, right? So June, July, and August will be summer. Spring, September, October, November will be fall. December, January, February will be winter. March, April, and May will be spring, right? It depends. So if you travel, make sure that the seasons are not the same. In Peru, when it's winter in Peru, it is summer in the United States, and vice versa. For example, right now we are in the summer in Peru, but in the United States, it's very cold because it's the winter. Okay, so be careful with that. Very good. And we have airport terminal signs. Again, we have departures. Normally, These are universal, and you will find the similar or very similar signs all around the world: departures, arrivals, customs control, passport control, airlines, currency exchange, where you change the money, where you find your taxis, if you want to rent a car, if you feel sick, medical room, praying room. You know, there's always a praying room. Sometimes they're for different religions, where you can go and pray. ATM is the machines where you get money if you want information. Lost and found, where if you lost something and you go look for it, if it's somebody left it there. Baggage check is like where you put in your bag, where you weigh your baggage. Terminal 1, Terminal 2, depending. Lima, normally it's only one terminal. They say it's going to be 2 or 3 in pretty soon. The gates, it depends. One gate 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, depends. It depends on how many gates the airport have. Sometimes it's only numbers, sometimes it has letters. Check-in is where when you arrive at the airport, where you get your boarding pass. Auto check-in is what we mentioned the last class. There's like a small kiosk or computer where you do everything on your own. Baggage is where your baggage is going to come around. The same with the baggage claim. Food court if there are places to eat. Telephones, nursing rooms if you're a mom, you have babies to change, and room services. Sometimes there are places or hotels or motels in the airports where you can stay. Okay, like I said, normally the signs are universal. They're going to be very, very similar everywhere around the world, and they're normally going to be in the main language and in English. No, that's normally how it works. For example, here in Lima, they're going to be in Spanish and in English. If you travel, let's say, to France, it's going to be in French, in English, and in Spanish sometimes. So, but normally they're in more than one language. It's very difficult for you to find these signs only in the local language. But if they are, then just by looking at the picture, you will be able to recognize what it talks about, because like I said, they're very universal and they tend to be the same all around the world. Okay, very good. And now let's review very quickly some things so we can finish. Um, for example, I have a coffee with milk, please. What would you write? Can, will, or do? What would you choose? I have a coffee with milk, please. Okay, so if you said letter A, then you are correct. Very good. Can. Remember, can you say can or we can say could? Very good. Very good. Thank you for your participation. Very good. What about the next one? Excuse me. Where is the Delta check-in? What? Desk, check-in station, or check-in table? The answer is checking desk. Okay, checking desk. Very good. What about number 3? I lost my pass. Can I get another one? I lost my traveling pass, seating pass, or boarding pass. I lost my, what do you think? I lost my boarding pass. Very good. If you said boarding pass, then you were correct. Okay, and you were correct. Like I said before, again, thank you for your participation. So let's see about number 4. I have a in Paris on the way to Israel. Stay over, stop over, or lay off. What do you think? The answer is stop over. Very good. Stop over or lay over. Okay. Very good. What about number 5? I'll have the pasta, please. Very good. You need to up your bag in Charlotte. Take up, pick up, or get up. You need to pick up. You need to pick up. Very good. A coffee, please. Regular, standard, or normal? A regular. The metal in my belt set off the alarm, took off the alarm, or went off the alarm. The metal in my belt. What is the verb that we say that causes the alarm? Very good. Set off the alarm. Very good. Because remember, go off is when it activates. Set off is what causes it to activate. Right. Very good. And finally, we have some pictures here. Okay. That we're going to look at. Okay. Try to remember what they are. And now we're going to match them with these words here. Okay. So I'm going to show the pictures again. There they are. So now let's see, ATM. Let's see, which one do you think is an ATM? The ATM is this one. Very good. This little symbol with the dollar sign here. Departure. Okay. If you guess the airplane leaving, then you were correct. Next, baggage claim. Baggage claim, very good. If you mentioned the bag thinking about its owner, then you were correct. Customs control, very good. If you guessed the little man here with the belt and the machine, that's him. Money exchange, again, dollar symbol, but now one way, both ways, right? We're exchanging. Arrival, so departure is this one, so arrival should be the opposite, right? This is not a plane going down or crashing, this is just a plane landing, right? Check-in, check-in is very good. You see the two people talking with their bags, checking, and baggage check is when we weigh our luggage. Very good. I hope these classes have been helpful. The next class will be on Friday, and it's going to talk about hotels. Please remember that all our English classes on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 to 10, and that I always follow you on the what Facebook app and also on Zoom. Okay. If sometimes it takes a little while for me to answer on Facebook. I don't know why there's always a delay, but in Zoom I can answer you and thank you personally for participating. Thank you very much. And this has been our lecture for today. Thank you. The next class will be on Friday at 9 in the morning, and we'll talk about hotels. Again, please take care, be careful. It's still not too safe to go out, so just be aware when you go outside. And thank you for participating here at Cámara de Comercio Exterior. Here is my personal information if you would like to contact me. My email is cjmflores@gmail.com. My WhatsApp number is 947-390-436. Thank you. And my LinkedIn account is cjmflores27. Okay, so I will gladly answer any questions that you might have. Thank you for your participation, everyone. Ms. Vara, Mr. Hector, okay, and hopefully I will see you on Friday. Have a great Wise Man's Day and enjoy. God bless. Bye-bye.